Hey everybody, Regan here at the pumpkin patch. I'm inside the cab of the tractor filming this video because it's so windy outside. I don't think you could hear me if I was out there recording it, but wanted to bring to you what we're doing today. I am rolling down our cover crop for where we're going to be putting pumpkins, or part of the patch we're putting pumpkins. Cover crops are kind of well, they've been around forever, but lately they've turned into well, kind of a fad, almost like, French drains or something. Everybody wants to try one, and you call a pipe something fancy, and everybody wants to do it. So like cover crops, it's something we grow when we're not growing our normal crop to cover the ground. What we're growing here today, and I'll show you a little bit in the video, is rye. This rye was planted last fall and has sat dormant through the winter and grew this spring. And we are smashing it down right now to make a mulch on top of the ground. Hoping to, if it ever dries out, to hold some moisture and keep the weeds down in the pumpkins and keep the mud off the pumpkins when we harvest them. Those are the hopes. There's going to be a lot of challenges. I'm honestly scared to plant into all this green material we're putting on the ground. The rain we've been getting, I don't know if this ground's ever going to dry out. There's a lot of challenges to this too. So we're giving it a shot. If it works out, that's great. If not, we're not out too much because we're still growing a lot of pumpkins on bare dirt like we normally do. So I'll show you more of it in this video. But until then, I'm going to turn the tractor back on and get the air going in here because I am sweating like I don't know what sweats a lot, but I'm sweating. It's hot, which is good. We need things to dry out and get these pumpkins planted. But follow along. I'll show you what I know, which learning as we go. Thanks. Got the rye all nice and flattened out. Mostly. There's some sticking up, but that's not bothering me too much. Got, like I said earlier, a pretty good layer of mulch out here, which is what we want, but it's kind of intimidating too. Let's see if I can dig down here and find my hand. There it is. I am no photographer, but here we'll try to give you an idea how deep that rye is. So it's, gosh, we got a layer about as long or as deep as my hand there, so that's what, I don't know, 6-8 inches. And see the soil down in there. There's no weeds to speak of here, so we'll keep that covered. And this rye should die and dry out here. It'll turn white on us, and we'll come in and plant into this hopefully here in a week or so and see what happens. Well, the Rye and I were just spending a special moment here and got to thinking, you're probably asking yourself, why rye? Of all the cover crops, why this guy right here? Or gal, or both, or, well, let's not get technical. Anyway, well, who knows if I chose the right one, but the reason we chose, or I chose rye, was to try to accomplish get the benefits from it that I need for the pumpkins. So I need a mulch out there and I need weed suppression. I also need something that's not going to be growing when we're growing pumpkins, so rye fits that bill. I think I said earlier, planted it in the fall, and it lay dormant over the winter and started growing early this spring. Held the soil. All this rain we've had, none of the soil where the rye was is washed away. Now that it's bolted, gotten tall, putting heads on here, it's time to smash it down, as we saw earlier, and make that mulch. So we grew our own straw pretty much, without having to, bale it and haul it in. It grew right there. And also, rye has this really neat ability, or superpower, whatever you want to call it, well, it's called allelopathy. So rye actually produces a compound that won't allow other small-seeded plants to germinate or grow around it. Now, it doesn't seem like too big a deal, maybe to you, but the biggest weeds we fight in the pumpkin patch are water hemp, lamb's quarters, foxtail. They all have these tiny little seeds, and the thought being that this rye left its, I don't know, we call it BO, whatever you want to call it, left it out in the field, isn't going to allow those little seeds to germinate. which is awesome for us because we don't want to have to deal with them. And pumpkins have a big old seed, so they're not going to be affected. So you wouldn't think, but this little guy Rye here has quite the ability. So we'll see if they help us out or if they cause us all kinds of problems.